Hey, friends. Hey, YouTube jail still lurks, but I am here. Happy Saturday, friends. It is still a soccer Saturday. Charlie's got a game a little later, but Kate has been watching some fun stuff and wanted to come and talk about it a little bit. I got her bagel waiting, as teenagers are wont to do. Little hair needs to happen. All I do is just splash water on me and roll in here, and you have to deal with it. Kate elevates, she's at another level. So she will be in here momentarily. I got some friends who were in the chat. We had some shenanigans late last night. I hope people are okay this morning. No hangovers. Hope everybody's good to go this morning. But let's say hello to our friends. Perry. Hey, yo. Perry was one of the shenanigan folks last night over on the Old Wolf YouTube channel. We were having no fun on the Old Wolf 65 YouTube channel. And Perry was there with me. We got Brian LCS. Good morning, Brian. He just finished his breakfast with the Comic Book Community Show a little bit ago, shouting out a ton of great channels and just doing what Brian does, which is supporting people. And I appreciate you doing that, sir. I'm going to move the microphone a little away from Kate. We got Kate here. What's going on, Kate?
Hi.
Good morning to you.
Morning.
Morning, Rod the Rican. What is up, my friend? Hope things are going well for you. He just dropped a short on the books he picked up this week. We might have some crossovers, but you guys got to go over there and check it out to be sure. Let's see who else we got. We got Sharon. What is going on, Sharon? I hope Cade and Rena are doing well. I had a lot of fun the last, I guess it was almost 24 hours. Sharon made a great post all about book banning and Judy Blume specifically, who a lot of people are stunned to find out Judy Blume is one of the most banned authors in America. And, you think of the lady that did Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing Super Fudge. You think of this author as being child friendly, but truthfully has been banned more than a lot of other authors. And it was an interesting discussion going on in her comments section just about book banning in general and the function of libraries, public libraries, school libraries. So if you want to hear some of that debate and maybe get a perspective beyond what you hear in just media, check out Life with Two YouTubers on Instagram and her most recent post with a bunch of Judy Blume books highlighted.
I'm gonna grab some water.
Yeah, good. JP Budget Collecting was another gentleman in the shenanigans chat last night and hilarious. Very fun to see him there. He was the one texting me trying to get me to join the show they were doing over there on Tony's channel. Splash water and just bam, just wake yourself up. Sorry, I went the wrong way. Wake yourself up. Let's see here. It was a nice show. Yeah, it was a nice show last night. It sounded like a lot of fun. I clipped it. Both of us clipped some of the best pieces and posted some on the Instagram this morning. So hopefully people got some laughs about that. Hello again to Brian. He just he got that notification bell, clicked back over. Thank you for coming by. And as I mentioned, he does a Saturday morning breakfast with the community show that's really, really great. If you have missed it, you should check that out. Is this the visiting hours at the jail? It's the Kate and Charlie show. The Kate and Charlie show. Eat a bagel, pet a beagle, and watch the Kate and Charlie show. We got the better half going on here today, but don't tell Charlie. What is going on, Tyler? He says, just reported this stream for a copyright review. So did you heard all about us getting copyright striked, right?
I saw it.
I had to take down all our Harry Potter reads. Yeah. So Kate's coming around to it. Yeah, all the Harry Potter reads had to be taken down. Or at least I chose to proactively take them all down after 5 of them got a strike as a whole. So what do you do?
That sucks.
I appreciate you, Tyler. You keep being you, brother. Massachusetts in the house. What is going on, Air Spider? Good to see you. Let's see. JP is still sleeping it off. Hope he's doing all right. Stay strong, my brother. We got Digger Jim in the chat. Good morning to you, Jim. I hope things are going well for you on this early Saturday for us. 8:30 here, I guess, somewhat early.
Yeah.
Just woke up, Kate. Or 11:30, nearly noon for you East Coasters. I'm gonna let Kate wake up and have her bagel, and then we'll get into horror movies because Kate's been watching horror movies lately. She's got a few under her belt and is interested to talk a little bit about them. So very exciting. But I'll run through the comics that I've been reading lately, some of the books that I finished. I only got 3 comics this week. I read them all. I do have a few from before that I'm still working on, and some fun to go through. Just got back from the grocery store. JP, well, good to see you that you're here. I appreciate it. I'm going to slide this over because this is the reminder that tonight I am on with Dan Comic Chop News talking about Gotham Central, the amazing story by Brubaker, Rucka, and Lark, all dealing with the cops in Gotham City and the stuff they have to deal with, trying to be the line in between the citizens and the shenanigans of Batman and his criminals. Right. So great series, and we'll talk a little bit about it tonight on Comic Chop News. So if you haven't read it or are curious about it, we're not going to be like full spoilers. We're just going to discuss the themes and why we like it and why you should read it. And I believe this omnibus still is on sale and in stock trades. It's worth the time, worth the money. Speaking of Batman's universe, I read Nightwing issue 103. Yeah, 103. I got this. It looks like the Teen Titans going to senior prom cover. Mm-hmm. I thought this was hilarious. Everybody dressed all to the nines. Like, except for, I guess, the Flash. Kid Flash looks a little casual. He looks like Archie.
Yeah, he does.
He's got an Archie look. Wally's got an Archie look going there. But everybody else looks dressed to the nines.
Who's that?
So that's Wonder Girl.
Oh, the original.
Yeah.
Teen Titans, not the TV show.
Yeah, the original Teen Titans. You can see her there in her older costume.
Yeah.
The background has the, like, team lineup, the old team lineup. But you got Raven, you got Starfire, you got Beast Boy, and you got Cyborg, right?
Nightwing.
And Nightwing certainly in the center there. Very good issue. I really enjoyed it. I've been enjoying this run in general. The concept here is that Nightwing is taking on bigger and bigger responsibilities. And so the Teen Titans are now helping him guard Bloodhaven. And so they are sort of a part of this. Yeah, Donna Troy. Sorry. I didn't give her official, like, actual name. Wonder Girl is what I always call her. Sorry. If there's that, is that not kosher anymore? Does nobody call her Wonder Girl anymore? Isn't that her name? Cade goes to his prom in 2 weeks.
Is he a junior or a senior?
I don't know. Let's find out. Junior or senior? I thought he would be more of a junior, but maybe he's a senior
Me too,
now.
But I don't remember.
Maybe my mental state is flawed. I also read and enjoyed this new issue of Punisher. There's only one issue in this storyline left, and then they're going to start over again.
That's what I thought.
Loved this cover with all the ninjas and all the pink. It's kind of more red. I guess it's pretty pink. Yeah, so great cover. Great cover. So cool. Who is Donna Troy? Magic Lasso asks. Who are any of us? Trioa is... Trioa is her hero name now. Multiple Wonder Girls. Yeah, there was that blonde Wonder Girl, right? I can't remember. But Trioa is actually the name she goes by. Trioa. I don't know this.
I don't like it.
JP is Perry. I'm glad you're a senior now. You're a senior now. I'm glad to hear that. They just grow and grow. I mean, hey, I got a freshman almost done with their first year of high school right here. Big girl, big time. The remaining books I've got here are all X related. The new issue of Night Crawlers came out this week. This is, if you look, you've got a ghostly Ghost Rider Galactus in the background of this cover. Pretty crazy, pretty wild looking. I also got this adorable Scotty Young X-Men cover with magic on it, because that's pretty amazing. That's pretty fun. You could cosplay like teenage magic and be amazing.
Me?
By the way. You look at the hair. You just don't have the bangs. And then I caught up on my Storm and the Brotherhood issues. Look at this awesome cloud cover with Storm on it. So cool. So I've been catching up on all of my X books and enjoying some more than others. Not amazing. The Nightcrawlers one was very good. The Storm and the Brotherhood was interesting. The X-Men one was not so great. But the best book I've read so far this week, I think, was probably that Punisher issue. I think this one was buck wild and had an ending I did not predict that was really cool. Getting into the backstory for his wife, for Frank Castle's not so dead wife. The last thing I've got on the list is I've got to catch up on Monarch. So I'm 2 issues behind. So I'm going to read these 2 issues today. And then I'll be all caught up on my reading pile. That's my goal. Perry's been in here with 3 different channels, hopefully hitting the like button 3 different times, because now he's Perry Reacts. He says, Punisher slaps no cap on God. Sheesh. All right, there you go. Hopefully you got those 3 like buttons clicked, though, brother. I appreciate it. Roscoe's in the chat, one of my homies from MegaCon. I got his logo there on the side of my my new folio. I bought a folio while I was there. I've already added a few friends' logos on it. This is the newest folio that I purchased. My older folio's got everybody's stickers on it, but it's run out of room. So I'm moving over to a new folio. And I think Roscoe's on both of them. So shout out Roscoe. He just gave me a lot of cool stickers and they fit nicely on the spine. So there you go. Thank you, Roscoe, for the cool sticker. There he is. And he also drew Kate's awesome Stranger Things picture in her room. What? Eddie, because Eddie's the best. Oh, super chat from Rod the Rican. What is happening? Holy cow. Let's let Kate pick a couple that she wants. What do you want us to play here, Kate? This one? That one didn't play very well. Hopefully it played better for you. I'm going to try it one more time. Cute little curly hair you had. Oh my gosh. All right, one more for Rod.
Do the Snapchat one with the lion.
The lion? You like the lion?
I love that one. It's so funny.
That's one of your favorites.
I like doing the sound effects for it.
All right. Did anybody else jump in the chat while we were busy? Biggie Shaq jumped in the chat. What is going on, Biggie? Good to see you, my friend. Hope your morning's going well. Yeah, I get it. Priorities. Wolfman. The Wolfman's in here. I didn't see Old Wolf. There he is. Tony. So if you go to Tony's channel, you can watch last night's 3-hour shenanigan extravaganza. But if you want to see the best part, I just clipped it and put it on Instagram so you can watch it there. So, Kate, you've been watching horror films without consulting with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, firstly, you have to do some mea culpas here, some apologies here, because you've been sneaking over, watching some great horror movies, and I've spent a lot of time with you and your sister cultivating like an order, so that you watch certain things at certain times.
You should have told me that.
This is how it's been your whole life.
You never told me
this is how it's been your whole life.
We were gonna have a horror movie system.
Your entire life, I've made sure that you watch movies at the right time. We built on things. When something was too scary, we backed off and we added something different. You know, where the threshold is for action, where the threshold is for foul language, where the threshold is for violence, where the threshold is for scares. We were always moving it up. So firstly, we got to fix some things and watch some movies. Now we have a whole,
sure.
You've opened a door into a whole other realm of movies. And as Perry says, horror films, heck yeah. It is not John.
It is. Because he never told me.
No, it's not John.
I would have backed off.
What is up, my man, Terry Vaughn, the bronze page? Guys, Terry Vaughn has been doing some real fun content on his Instagram, but now he's moved over to the YouTubes and he's been doing some YouTube stuff. We got to get this guy to 100. So if someone can drop his link, the bronze page right here, Terry's an awesome guy. I love our chats over on Instagram. And now that he's doing YouTube, we need to get the community. We need to rally around and get this guy up there. So definitely somebody drop that link for me. Yeah, from Lethal Weapon to Scream, right? We've come a long way. We added Lethal Weapon at Christmas this year. There's a big step. So, okay, let's list some of the horror films you have now seen.
Okay.
Because you mentioned
Scream 1.
Scream 1.
Scream 2.
Scream 2.
Scream 3.
You've seen all the way to the end of 3?
Yes.
Okay.
The
first 3
Scream,
which for me, as much as I love the Scream franchise and I'm with Lisa and Tyler on this.
Hi, Mama.
Oh, Kitty Cat said hi. You want to come up? Where are you going? Hi. You want to say hello? Hi, Mama Kitty. So, as much as we love the Scream movies,
she looks so mad.
She's like,
get me out of here.
Why are you holding me? I don't want to be held. As much as we love the Scream movies, I feel like those movies are built on knowledge of the other horror films, and you need to do those other movies first. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. Those things are important to gaining the enjoyment of, or the complete enjoyment of Scream. Not that you can't do it in reverse, meaning see Scream and then go back and be like, oh my gosh, they were making fun of, oh my gosh, I get that joke now, right? So for me, I just feel like that's important. But maybe other people disagree. Thank you to Old Wolf for dropping the link. There's the bronze page. You should definitely check it out. Sub it up like Old Wolf just did. Much appreciated. What is up, Robert? So, okay, the 3 Scream movies. Great movies. Good choices. I'm glad you watched them. Part 1 and 2 of...
What?
It.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I don't really count it.
How do you not count It, the scary clown movies?
Because it's not that scary.
What?
I only saw the first one, but I know what happens in
this lady made me stop watching Smallville with them because of a scary monster.
I love Smallville. I need to go rewatch it.
But now she won't watch. But now she doesn't consider it to be horror.
Okay. I've seen The Conjuring 2.
So The Conjuring 2, not 1. 2.
That was the only one that was streaming. So
okay, so she's seen both of the volumes of It and Conjuring Part 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you count Coraline as a horror movie? Because I count Coraline as a horror
movie. Mean, I think that there's a spectrum, right? Where you might have something like Beetlejuice and Coraline on one end, and on the other end, Silence of the Lambs or something like that. There's a spectrum here, right? And gauging your comfort level with fear is where you're at with this. Because even the movie we were watching last night is a comedy in a lot of ways, but has those scary moments where you were like, oh, geez. Yeah. When you get to see Kiefer Sutherland's makeup.
I was like, oh my God.
With the big eyebrows and the fangs, because we were watching
The Boys.
It's not called The Boys, because that's the very vulgar TV show.
What's it called?
Lost Boys. They're the Lost Boys. Kind of like...
The title said The Boys, though.
It didn't. Lost Boys, kind of like Peter Pan's little kids that are running amok.
Yeah.
Sorry,
that was like a Mandela effect.
These are the running amok kiddos.
I totally remembered something else.
Yeah, definitely not The Boys. Lost Boys. Biggie Sack says he can't imagine Kate ever being wrong. So you seem to have the chat on your side. Yes, clowns are scary, right, Jim? Clowns are scary.
Sorry, I'm trying to spin around.
The question is, did Kate cheat on you first, or have you watched movies without her first? I mean, I've watched plenty. Kate, there will be a quiz.
God.
I like that plan. I won't even watch The Boys, says Biggie Shack. The Boys is a very good show, Roscoe. I agree, but we're talking about the Lost Boys specifically because it's a vampire movie.
Oh God, I need to watch the rewind.
I'm
gonna get.
Since you're not taking notes, you need to watch the rewind. There you go. So, have you seen any other movies with vampires in it? Dracula's, vampires, bloodsuckers. This is your first vampire movie.
I've seen The Turning too.
The Turning.
Have you seen that one?
No, is that the werewolf thing?
No, it's the one with Finn Wolfhard in it.
Okay, but is there like a monster?
It's like. Kind of. It's like an evil spirit. The movie's super weird. I just watched it because I knew the people in it.
Gotcha.
And the main girl is the girl, Mindy from The Martian.
Okay. So we also, without you, Charlie and I watched The Sixth Sense, which is a scary kind of monster ghost thing. She felt like it was not super scary. Only a couple of moments were scary. She felt like it was sad.
Oh.
Which would, again, on the spectrum of like, am I going to have nightmares? maybe it's not in the middle. Maybe it's a little more towards the Coraline end.
Mm-hmm.
But I know kids that watch Beetlejuice and it's like super scary.
Beetlejuice is not scary to me.
Because when they make the crazy monster faces and
okay,
things,
yeah, that was
right?
scary the first time. But
the first time you see it, right?
Coraline's always scary. I rewatched it in English class, and I can't believe that movie's a kid's movie.
Coraline really hit you.
Really scary.
It really hit you strong.
Okay,
so I want you to know the spectrum for Kate has Coraline on the scariest end, and it not a horror movie.
It's not scary.
I
know it's like backwards, but like
not scary.
The reason it's because I have a past with Coraline. Because Charlie watched it when she was like 6 at our grandma's house, and she had nightmares for weeks. So I had this big anticipation it was going to be really scary. Mm-hmm. And I watched it at a friend's house, and I skipped through the whole thing because I was too scared. Mm-hmm. And so yesterday was actually my first time watching it, or like 2 days ago or something. And it was really creepy.
That's funny. We got TK in the chat. What is going on, TK? My man, good to see you, sir. JP says best vampire movie is Dracula Dead and Loving It, which is Leslie Nielsen, who is in the Naked Gun movies, the police cop, playing Dracula. It's a comedy. It's very, very silly, but has one superb, amazing scene. Fright Night, good vampire movie from Tyler there. Good shout out. We're not ready for Saw yet. That's when you get into like graphic torture violence, which I don't think we're there for yet. Mm-hmm. We're still in the like creepy, it's going to freak me out stuff.
I'm saying
Coraline is terrifying.
The other mother's terrifying. She's literally a needle spider. In what planet?
Score. My wife is bringing me a coffee beverage. We got it in the giant skull of Groot.
Bye, Mom. I love you.
There we go. We got some coffee going. I'm going to actually make this magic happen now. Jay Nunya says best vampire comic is These Savage Shores, which is a really great comic. And I think I still have the trades for that. Ram V, really beautiful artwork, stunning artwork, phenomenal artwork. I'm going to veto your pick, though, and I'm going to go Philadelphia, which I like better. But I respect the pick completely. Sorry, where does it say? John, is the scene where he eats the bugs? Is there a scene where he eats the bugs? Is that in Coraline? Are we talking Coraline? Are we talking?
There is a scene where there's
eats bugs. Old Wolf says hi to Becky, but she's already gone. JB says, I will never be there for the graphic violence horror. Give me the suspense movies all day. And Kate has seen some of those. You've seen Rear Window with James Stewart. It's the one where he's like in the body cast and he thinks somebody across the street committed murder and he's like freaking out. That. Oh, really cool movie. But Charlie likes those older movies. You don't always want to watch them. This was not black and white. It's in color. Okay. But James Stewart, from It's a Wonderful Life and other. He's a photographer who gets in an accident. So he's in like a full body cast stuck in his apartment day after day. He's getting bored. He hears something late at night that makes him think something violent happened. And he starts to suspect his neighbor across the way committed murder, but he can't prove it. So he's got to keep spying on him and watching what he does. And he can't get out and he can't do anything. So there's that suspense of element. Like you're stuck, right? Which is great. That's what Hitchcock was really great at, was creating suspense. So that's a great one to watch. Not really on the spectrum, closer to Coraline than, say, Silence of the Lambs, right? Although I don't know where your spectrum is anymore.
Yeah.
Bet Kate would like Final Destination. Do you know those movies? Has to do with a group of friends who are about to get on an airplane. I think it's an airplane in the first movie. And one of them has like a premonition that it's going to crash and freaks out. And so they all like have to stay off the plane and calm her. And then the plane does crash. And the rest of the movie, they feel like death is hunting them because it missed them. So crazy accidents, things like, I dropped a spoon down the garbage disposal and I got to get the spoon out. Is the garbage disposal going to get me? I'm driving behind a truck with like big logs. Will the logs break off and, crash my truck? Like scary, like death is trying to hunt you down stuff. What is up, C Bizzle? Good to see you. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo definitely is like thriller suspense, but a little intense for, I think, where we're at yet. But I absolutely love the Swedish version. It is phenomenal movie. Beautifully done. Come on, buddy. Come on. It's an ongoing joke that Rear Window's been remade a bunch and people have copied it, like for their, for episodes of TV series when kids have a cold and they're at home, like Bart Simpson's at home with a cold. And he looks out the window and thinks his neighbor's killed somebody.
Yeah.
They made a movie called Disturbia with, God, I'm gonna forget the hot young kid actor, Peanut Butter Falcon kid, the first Transformers movie. Yeah, what is his name? Darn it. Anyways, he did a version of it called Disturbia. I can't remember the kid's name.
There's interaction.
The logging truck, right? Freaks me out. Shia LaBeouf. There it is. Shia LaBeouf.
That's him?
Yeah, he's the kid. He's in Disturbia.
The kid from Holes.
There you go, from Holes. Yeah, Shia, not Shiloh. Shia. Sorry, ooh, my tongue.
Shyla.
Shalola. Wow. Okay, so then let's talk about, we've got your spectrum now. You've got a bunch of movies. Which one of these movies you've watched? You've seen, 3 Screams, 2 It's, Conjuring, whatever. What is the worst one where you're like, I never want to watch that movie again? Not necessarily because it's scariest, but just because like you did not like that movie. Is there one of them that you're like, ugh, I never did see the one?
I don't like the plot of The Turning, but I would rewatch it again just for the people.
The Turning.
Yeah.
This is the one with Finn.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's really confusing. The ending is like a cliffhanger, but they're never going to make a second movie. Like, it's just, it's really bothersome. Like, I don't like that movie at all. I don't understand it. I've watched it like 4 times. I don't understand.
Wait a second. You've watched it more than once?
Yeah.
When do you have the time to do this?
I have
You're like, I have Netflix on my phone, Dad.
No,
I can watch it whenever I want.
No, I don't.
I'm learning about Kate right now. She's like, how much do I say? How much can I admit right here, right now? And the YouTube audience is going to protect me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how this works. Yes, I got the I Am Groot mug here. It's a little bit perverse if you think of me like drinking out of his skull, but whatever.
Why are you thinking about
I've
it
had
like
people,
that?
I've had people comment in the chat that they're like, are you like drinking out of Groot's head? Yes. Yes, I am. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is a very funny one, JP. Good, funny one. Okay, then.
I also would not rewatch Scream 3.
Let's talk. Okay, so Scream 3 would be near the bottom.
Scream 3 is lower than The Turning.
Lower than The Turning. Okay.
Because I'd still rewatch The Turning.
Okay. What about which one of all those would you put at the best? Like your favorite? Oh, that's a great scary movie. It's perfect for me.
I think it's tied between It 1 and Scream 1 because those are both really good.
And different, right? One is, I hope you could laugh at Scream. I hope that you could enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely some humor.
Some
funny moments, yeah.
I can't remember Jamie Kennedy's character's name.
Who's Jamie Kennedy?
He's the video store guy in the first.
Randy?
Like, Randy's funny.
Randy is funny.
He's hilarious.
And he's in the second one, too.
That scene in the first movie when he's like, watching on the TV, like, Jamie Lee Curtis,
bro,
right behind you.
Oh my god,
Jamie, he's right behind you, and the killer is
literally right behind him.
And the way they use the tape delay, where they're looking at the tape, and they're like, "Oh my god!" They're watching somebody say it's right behind you, and they're telling him it's right behind you, and then of course they go running to warn him.
Yeah,
but they don't realize that the killer just ran out of the house and didn't kill him. What a great,
it's such
freaking
a creepy
moment,
creepy scene,
and it's so surprising, and yet it's hilarious too because it's like a movie within a movie within a movie, right? It's like 3 layers deep. Mm-hmm. Such a great scene. And they play on the jokes of horror movies where it's always about like the chests of the women and the scantily clad costumes and
like
the running back into the house where instead of running and getting help and
running down up the stairs instead of going out the front door.
There's a lot of like playing into the tropes of horror, which are very funny, and I think they do a good job of teasing it. And I have to ask this question: did you know that Drew Barrymore was in that movie?
Yes.
Did you know that she wouldn't be in it for very long?
No.
Did that shock you?
A little, yeah. I was like, oh my god, she's gonna die.
So the original posters for Scream put her name at the beginning of the title of the movie and put her face really big. And the whole point was they wanted people to go into the movie thinking they're not going to kill the cute blonde girl. They wouldn't kill Drew Barrymore, the cute little girl from E.T. They're not going to kill Drew Barrymore. And it's like, bam, that first scene hits so hard. And people were brutal. People were shocked because they're like the biggest named actor in the movie dies in the first 15 minutes. Like such a call. Yeah. Such a big call. I was like, what? I remember seeing the theater and just being like, this did not just happen.
was really crazy.
Yeah, great
And
scene.
I feel like there's a big difference between like Scream and It, because Scream you don't know who the killer is, and It you know who it is,
Right.
and like you know what it is. It is literally, but like I feel like Scream wasn't that scary for me because it was more the suspense of like where
They're
the
gonna jump out.
Ghostface was. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, where are they?
Right.
It was kind of who it was, but I don't know, not really. I feel like it was like I guessed who at least one of the killers were in each of the movies.
Because there's 2 in most of those movies.
Yeah.
Right?
So.
Great point. Jay Nunya says it's we're metaphorically killing off old Hollywood and introducing new Hollywood. So it's like the older actresses and now the newer actresses, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I was in the theater opening weekend and I loved it too. Yeah, Scream opening weekend. I was in the theater. Absolutely amazing. We got Jedi Code in the chat. Good morning. We got Kenneth Bird in the chat. Hello to you, Kenneth. We got the Grand Master. So they made a farce comedy version of Scream called Scary Movie, where it's just all jokes. Like it's a joke version of it. Very funny. So they're talking about the book and the film The Shining as well, which is a Stephen King book made into what a movie that people often consider one of the scariest movies. It's a Jack Nicholson movie by Stanley Kubrick. The filmmaker.
Oh, I've seen another horror movie.
Jaws listed here as well. But Kate likes the ocean, and she doesn't want to be scared of the ocean.
I'm not ready for Jaws.
So she's not ready to like
shape or form.
be dealing with that. You know,
I used to be scared of the ocean, so
yeah. I mean,
I'm getting over that.
You're still kind of scared of the ocean.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want to go far out.
She's like, I don't want to be touched by seaweed.
No,
that's her big thing. Like if seaweed touches Kate,
I automatically just like,
she's
oh
done.
God.
You know that meme where like a dog is like running in the water and all of a sudden the dog just like jumps and goes running to the shore because something touched it that it didn't know was under the water?
That's me.
That's Kate.
Yeah. I saw a movie called The Visit.
That's one of M. Night Shyamalan's movies. Is that where they go to their grandparents' house? And yeah. So the filmmaker who did that has done a bunch of thriller, scary kind of movies. And
it was a scary movie.
The Sixth Sense is one of his. Mm-hmm. He also did one with Mel Gibson that's really scary about aliens coming to Earth called The Sign or Signs. Really good.
I saw that one. It was really scary.
Yeah. Did you like it though, or did you not like it?
I don't know, because I watched it on a FaceTime, so it was like I couldn't really absorb the fullness of it. But like the parts I watched, I was like terrified.
Okay.
So
his movies are notorious for having twists at the end that you don't necessarily see.
Oh yeah, there was a big twist. I was like,
sometimes that works really well, and the movie is like, oh, now I got to see it again because I want to know what this means. Other times you get to the end, you're like, that's okay, whatever.
Yeah, the twist was okay.
Okay,
it was kind of like, oh,
the Evil Dead movies are classics. Yeah,
yeah. Seaweed is definitely the ocean monster.
Yeah, get ready for that. Be ready for that. Okay, good. So Scream, I'm glad you enjoyed it. The comment on it is the same thing we talked about when you wanted to read the book, which is that like the first half of the story is so much better than the end, which is why it's true with the miniseries, it's true with the book, and it's true with the 2 movies. The first half has all the best stuff, and the second half is kind of boring.
It was so boring. Like I had trouble finishing the book because of how boring the older people's like the books were for when they were older.
Okay.
Like the sections, like I
because doesn't the novel split it up a little bit, like
it goes back and forth, but you don't know.
But there's still like 2 halves, right?
Yeah. But if it would just divvy it up,
right,
it'd be way easier. Like if it was the young and the old, and you can pick which one you want to read, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Because I feel like you don't need to read the like book for the older.
Well, you kind of want to know how they deal with Pennywise.
I know, but if you just watch the movie, like I feel like you should read the young version before you watch the young version.
Okay.
And I feel like the old version you don't need to watch. You don't need to read it. You just
watch the movie.
Yeah.
All right.
It explains it.
I liked the first film a lot, but I knew that I wouldn't need to see the second one because I knew that even if it followed the book perfectly, it would still be flawed because it's just not a very good second half. It's not a really great ending. Okay. Talked about it. Scream 2. Mm-hmm. How'd you feel about Scream 2? Off to college now.
I predicted.
You predicted one of the killers?
The second one.
Okay.
I knew it. I was so proud of myself. My friend was like, how did you know that? I was like, I used context clues. Like, I'm literally brilliant.
Is this like when I'm watching movies and I'm like telling you what's going to happen?
Yes. It was okay. Like, it got kind of repetitive.
Yeah.
And then they killed off characters. I was like, why do you have to kill that character?
I was
off?
very upset with Scream 2 when they
Can
killed
I spoil?
off. I mean, honestly, these movies are fairly old, so I don't think
Okay,
it's a
that's
big
what I was
deal.
gonna say.
Sorry, slide that over.
Okay, can I drop names then?
I suppose.
Like the killers?
I mean, I don't know that anybody's going to care.
Okay. Well, I totally predicted that Billy Loomis's mom
would be a character.
I didn't know it was gonna be. I
Did
knew
you know
that
which
lady,
one? You thought
I
she was
knew
going to be
that
Billy's
lady
mom?
was gonna be important. Like,
okay. But you
the
didn't,
second they introduced her and she was following them everywhere,
right?
I was like,
A reporter more annoying
than Gail Weathers.
Than Gail.
I know. I was
Right.
like, So I predicted she was something,
Mhm.
and then she revealed herself. I was like, oh, that's so much better than what I would have thought.
Right.
So that was really cool. And okay, one thing I hate about the Scream movies is that in the first two, what is it? Dewey? Dewey gets killed twice, but he's still alive.
Yes. I mean, it ultimately happens to him a lot.
It's so aggravating.
It's kind of Dewey's thing.
I just want him to die. You know what I mean? Like, he's a great character, but I feel like after the second time he evaded death, I was like, bro, can you just like die? It would have been so much more meaningful if he died.
For me, yeah, it was when Randy passed. Yeah,
that was really sad.
You need Randy. You needed Randy. He was the wrong one to kill. You could have killed a lot of other characters. I don't know that you needed to kill Randy.
Yeah,
but I get it.
He had a gruesome death too.
Good morning, Jamie. What's up, J Hood Creative? Good to see you.
And when they left him alone,
yeah, Dewey is unkillable.
Yeah, in the like courtyard, just Randy, and he got the phone call, and they were all like, "Okay, we're gonna explore."
Yeah,
they left him alone. I was like, "Are you crazy? He literally has a phone.
Yeah,
why would you do that?"
Yep,
it was so dumb.
Yeah, tragic.
It's scary.
Okay. And then the third film starts off with that exciting Cotton Weary in his home sequence, which is kind of a cool beginning, right? Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I didn't really like the third one that much.
It's definitely weaker.
Because the killer backstory just made no sense to me. Like,
I don't know that I've seen the new. I think are they on 6 now or 5?
6.
6. I have not seen 5. I think I've seen 4.
Okay, I've heard 5 and 6 are better than some of the other ones so far, so I kind of do want to see them. And the girl from Wednesday's in them.
She is, yes. She comes in the.
And the guy from Avatar.
4th or the 5th? I can't remember. The 5th.
5th.
Yeah.
And the guy from Avatar.
The guy from which
Spider.
one? Spider.
The human dude that's like annoying as hell.
The human dude that's
with the dreads, where he's like this Quaritch's son or whatever.
He's one of the blue people?
No, he's a human.
Okay.
He like betrays them at the end. He's like the bad guy's son. You really not remember?
In the second Avatar.
Yeah,
you say Avatar, and I'm thinking I'm running through the first movie in my head. Sorry. Yeah. Gotcha.
That guy's in it too.
Okay. Coach Vic is also in the chat, and J Hood says that Vic and he got the prize box from the giveaway recently. I hope you enjoy the goodies in there. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all the support and great chats we get to have.
I thought some of the things in Lost were scarier than some of the movies I watched.
What is the name of that movie with the snakes on the plane? You mean Snakes on a Plane? Very funny. Very funny. I see what's going on. We're just talking about the horror films Kate has seen, where she's at, and maybe what we should pick for her next. Because I'm going to have to start a really elaborate list of horror movies for Kate, including, the first Friday the 13th, the first Nightmare on Elm Street, the first Halloween, and probably the second or third in a lot of those as well. Because in some cases, like the third Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my favorites. The second Halloween is totally worthy of the first Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
She's smelling your hand. She's not going to bite you.
She's just going up like that.
She's smelling you.
I want her to claw me.
She doesn't do that. She's never done that.
I'm scared, bro.
She's a sweet kitty. She just wants to smell what's on your fingers.
Hey, girl. Bagel.
Where are you going, lady? She's just climbing around.
I don't know what.
She's back underneath there.
Yes, she's gone.
She's hiding away. We got a kitty cat running around. Sorry about that. The Jason movies are my least favorite. I will admit. I don't think you need to watch really many of the Friday the 13th movies. Personally, I'm not as big of a fan of those. But I do think it's good to have some understanding, especially the first one. I think the first one works a little bit. Plus, you get Kevin Bacon, really, really young Kevin Bacon. It's like one of his first movies. Carrie.
Read the book.
Great book. Good story. Exorcist.
Oh,
What are we doing, lady? Oh, I got you again. I got you again. You came running by me and I got you again. Now you're going to go
put
that
me
way.
down.
The Exorcist is freaky. I think The Exorcist might be a little bit much. That one goes on the far end with Signs of the Lambs and stuff like that. Oh, the movie where Ryan Reynolds is buried? Yeah, it's called Buried. Very funny. You guys are hilarious today. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Amityville Horror. There's some scary ones. Let's see here. Jeepers Creepers. Ooh, that one's scary. Pan's Labyrinth is a great one. That's closer to the, well, in my spectrum, closer to the Beetlejuice end versus,
Beetlejuice isn't scary
the other end.
to me.
Well, I know. I would put Coraline next to Beetlejuice. That's sort of the problem that you and I are having. I think Coraline maybe is an outlier movie. We pull it out of the rankings.
I think we should rewatch it together because you haven't seen it in a while.
I mean, the original, Perry's talking about the original black and white Dracula, I'm assuming, because there's been several versions of Dracula. And Universal Studios was very popular for their horror films back in the day. So they originated like Frankenstein, The Mummy, Wolfman, Dracula, a lot of that kind of stuff. There's some cool stuff in there. Mothman. That's like a suspensey mystery kind of thing. I don't know if it feels too horror to other people, but that's a good one. Isn't that Richard Gere, right? Richard Gere. So I personally think you are in the section of horror called slasher. And what you'll find is that even within a broad thing as horror, you have these genres, these smaller groups, right? You have the like ghost thriller kind of stuff. You have the like super violent torture movies, which is popular kind of still right now with Saw and those things. You have suspense thrillers, which were popular when Pop was a young guy with Alfred Hitchcock and his kind of scary movies like Psycho.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, and I saw Black Phone too, remember?
Black Phone, yeah, with the Ethan Hawke, right? Yeah. Which that one's kind of a mix of thriller, torture, maybe.
Yeah.
And then you have slasher, which was a very popular genre in like the 80s and into the early 90s. And Scream is like, I don't know, it's like the more modern version of slasher, where it's really about like the creepy monster guy who's chasing you around.
Yeah, where is he?
Yeah, where is he? You know, what's he? He's unstoppable. Even when you shoot him, he comes back.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. It's its own genre. And I think you're smack in the middle of that. And movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Scream are all part of that subgenre, for me at least. People Under the Stairs, that's a freaky one. Trick or Treat. Tremors is funny. I think Tremors falls into me like more of an action comedy. It just has a monster at the core of it. Event Horizon slaps and is scary for sure. Get Out is freaky. That movie is freaky. Very, very good. Wish that we had better Resident Evil movies. Love Resident Evil. I mean, yeah, that stuff. The Terrifier. I've never heard of that one. Do you have specific horror movies that you have that are near the top of your list of like, I want to see these?
You said Johnny Depp's not really in Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street is similar to Kevin Bacon in Friday the 13th in that they are just one of the kids that are being hunted, right? So you've got the kids at Crystal Lake that are dealing with the monster in Friday the 13th. You've got the kids in Nightmare on Elm Street dealing with Freddy. And just like you have the kids in Halloween, like with Jamie Lee Curtis that are being chased, there's always a group. You know, you got to have your red shirts. You know that Kirk is in danger when the red shirts are getting killed on the Crazy Planet.
Yeah.
You know, Jamie Lee Curtis is in danger because you see like her friends being hunted and killed by.
Is Jamie Lee Curtis in which one? Halloween?
She's in Halloween.
I want to see
She's
Halloween.
Also in one called Fright. I think it's called Fright Night. Am I saying it right, folks?
I want to say.
I think she had 3 different horror series that she was a part of. That's why she was the Scream Queen.
I want to see Halloween, Friday the 13th, or Nightmare on Elm Street, then Friday the 13th. Carrie.
Nice. What's up, Legion of Comics? Mark is here. We're running through what horror movies might be appropriate for my 15-year-old as she's gearing and getting into horror a little bit. We're dabbling. So Biggie Shack, this is a great joke. And the reason why I always click on people who basically bring this movie up, this is Friday the 13th part, was it 5, 6? Mm-hmm. If anybody can remind me. This movie was written and directed by the guy who lives across the street from your Uncle BJ. Yeah, the filmmaker's name is Rob Hedden. And when I was growing up as a kid, my little town in Laguna Beach had a couple of famous things for horror slasher fans.
Oh, yeah,
one, Freddy Krueger himself, Robert Englund, the actor, lives in Laguna Beach. And you'll see him at the beaches and hanging out downtown Laguna Beach all the time. 2, the filmmaker, the writer, director of Jason Takes Manhattan also lives in Laguna Beach. And I got to go to some of his movie sets as a kid because I was into movies and he would be shooting movies and he would invite me over. So yeah, as much as Jason Takes Manhattan is not a good movie, it's often considered to be the worst of the Friday the 13th movies, which have a ton of really bad movies in them. It always kept a slightly nice place in my heart just because I knew the crew behind it. Just random. Now, this is a great question, and this is ultimately why I think Kate has started to get into horror. Her love for Stranger Things, and specifically those actors like Finn Wolfhard on the show that have gone on to do other horror things. I think that's been a big part of your love.
Yeah, because I think I started watching it, and then I found out Finn Wolfhard's in It and like The Turning, and then I started seeing those movies.
Right.
And then it just kind of like spread where I was like, okay, I feel like if I can handle it, I feel like I can handle a lot of things. You know what I mean? Because that's a really scary movie for a lot of people.
And let's be honest, Stranger Things is scary. And you might feel like I got around it and I got to it and I can enjoy it. But Stranger Things is scary. I know plenty of adults that are like, I can't watch it.
Oh, I know. My grandma can't watch it.
Yeah. And that's fine. Everybody has their threshold, right?
Yeah.
It's a great scene in Trading Places. And they do reference that in Scream. Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. That's a good one. You know, it's the Headless Horseman story.
Is that Helena Bonham Carter?
Helena Bonham Carter, yeah.
I thought it was Winona for some reason.
I did too. I mentioned it the other day. I don't think we're ready for this genre of horror yet. And this is basically the more modern police hunting a serial killer story.
Oh, no, I'm not ready for that.
It's often a little bit too real. And so as a result, it tends to be one of those genres people get into later. Slasher is so ridiculous.
It's so like outrageous.
The whole ghost face, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers thing is so over the top.
Yeah, it never actually happened.
You could easily take your mind and say, yeah, it's not real. It's not possible. Or even the clown from It, as scary as it is, you can say, I'm not going to be chased by Pennywise or a Demogorgon in my life. So those things I can safely enjoy the horror.
Yeah.
I remember, shout out White Whale Comics. I remember him talking about genres, not specifically just horror, but we were discussing horror, and he said something along the lines of movies, books, these things allow us to experience emotion safely.
Yeah.
Right? So if I want to experience love and romance safely, without breaking my heart, without having to deal with relationships and anything, I can watch those movies and enjoy it. Right? If I want to laugh and not have to worry about what's going on in my life, I can enjoy a comedy safely in the space of that comic or that book or that movie. Yeah. Same with horror, especially, right? It's fun to feel fear in a controlled environment. That's what a roller coaster is, right? The chance to go on the ride and feel it.
The adrenaline rush.
And know that you're within the parameters, ideally, of safety the whole time.
Yeah.
But where that line is drawn is different for different people. So one person might be like, oh, I can ride Thunder Mountain, but I can't ride Space Mountain. I can watch Scream, but I can't do Silence of the Lambs, right? That is an ever expanding, procedure for everybody, Ooh, Insidious, very scary. Man, that got me for sure. And I mentioned that to Kate last night.
Mhm.
The Ring, Mrs. Tootsie's is on it. That's a great movie. And in fact, if you're a fan, I recommend I prefer the Korean version. It's very similar. It's Ringu. It just has a U on the end. Ringu is freaky. And it reminds me of The Shining a lot. I think it's a really good movie. Yeah, Jason finally gets to Manhattan. The joke of the movie is he's only in Manhattan in the last like 5 minutes. The rest of the movie are not in Manhattan. So he does not take Manhattan. Interview with the Vampire with Tom Cruise as a vampire. Classic. Let's see here. People agreeing on Insidious. Is there a thing as too many jump scares, or do you prefer atmospheric fear? It's a preference thing, right? Some people love those like Ghostface jumps out moments, right? Other people, they want that feeling of dread, like something could happen at any moment. Like that's what The Visit would do, right?
Yes.
Where you feel like this just feels
It's
bad,
so unsafe.
feels unsafe, right?
Yeah.
Versus the jumping out.
Yes.
They're very different
And
kind
the
of
hiding.
scares. And so everybody has their different preferences. When I was little, I loved all of it. The more graphic, the more wild. I loved all of it when I was your age. Now, as I'm older, like it doesn't scare me as much, the jump scares. And I generally prefer something that just, lives in my brain for months after, where I can't shake it.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, wow, I can still think back to watching movies like Insidious and feel like, wow, that really is still lingering. I'm still dealing with that, And she's gone. I'll see you later, Kate.
Sorry.
She's gone. She's like, bathroom break. I'm out. See you later. I don't know where she's going. She didn't mention it. So I'm gonna make a little list together for Kate. We're this morning we're gonna finish Lost Boys because we didn't get a chance to, and then we're gonna start looking at other horror movies that we think we could enjoy together. See, we got to gauge where Charlie is too. She's seen The Sixth Sense, but that's about as far as Charlie's gone. They've both seen Stranger Things, so that's gives us a spectrum. If you're watching this, and we didn't mention a horror film that you really love. Blair Witch, I see Grandmaster dropping. I saw Smile, Mouth of Madness, Biggie Shack, great movie, Mouth of Madness. Leave us a comment. Drop us some comments. Make a list of what you think. What is appropriate for an awesome 15-year-old to be watching, right? What kinds of things would fall into those categories? JP, that is definitely on my list. Perry, thank you. I hate this movie. This movie is boring and dumb. I do not like this movie. Do not like this movie. Pass. Paranormal Activity. Freaky. Yeah, I don't love the found footage movies as much, where it's all like shaky cam stuff. I don't like it as much, but it's all right. The original is freaky deaky. Freaky deaky. Really good. Really good. I think we'll definitely be doing Signs because Charlie liked Sixth Sense, and I think we'll definitely get into more of the scary ones from him for sure. Absolutely. So again, yeah, leave us some comments. Appreciate you guys a ton. We're going to get on with our day, read some books. I want to remind you that tonight, I think we decided at 9:30 Eastern over on Comic Chop News, we're going to be reading and discussing Gotham Central, a great Batman without Batman comic book. Definitely worth it. Anything last thing you want to say here, Caters? Should we get on with our day here? Go watch the rest of Lost Boys?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, much appreciated, gang. But we are now going to go on with our day. So have a great Saturday.